get ready with me to go absolutely nowhere while I talk about my retirement. I will be retiring from my first job. I've had my first job since middle school. Since my sophomore year of high school. So, and I graduate in the winter of 26. So I've been there for a long time. Now, granted, I did quit and stop working, but I ended up going back for just easy cash. So it's time to put in the towel for sure. I will tell you why it's time to put in a towel. You know, fast food industry makes you a little crazy, I feel like, because they just ask the strangest things all the time. Or they'll get really specific. They'll say, well, can I have like this veggie soup, but what is the base of it? That's a valid question if you have like real health problems, but I feel like if you have real health problems, you wouldn't go to like a chain restaurant. I feel like you would go somewhere that you know is catered to that. Panera is for picky people. Picky people who want to be healthy, but are just literally so picky, it's hard to satisfy. Or that they'll like think it's an a la carte type restaurant style. And they're like, oh, I just want to order a salad. And I'm like, okay, what kind of salad? So I just want lettuce, croutons. And I'm like, oh, it's not an a la carte style. I can change it. You can modify things, but I cannot just make it how you want it. There's literally no a la carte button on our machine anyway. They're used to when I first started, but not anymore. Like, or if you come through the drive-thru, you're supposed to know what you want. I feel like that's a pet peeve of mine. If you know that you don't know what you want, then you shouldn't go through the drive-thru. And I'm not talking about the people that look at the menu for just a little bit. I'm talking about the people that go, 1 minute, and then they make 30,000 phone calls to ask everybody in their family what they want to eat. And then they still stand there. Like, I kid you not, the amount of times we have families that come through the drive-thru and order takes like 10 minutes. I'm like, oh my gosh, they're running our times up. Like, please. Like, have somebody who's on the driver's side, have them look at the menu and list off what they like. Just do that. Now, granted, Panera changes their menu so often, I understand why you like, I don't know what I want. That's understandable, but let's not take 10 minutes just to order one thing. This one cracks me up because people will order our smoothies and think it'll come in like a regular size cup, which is honestly valid for the price that you're paying for it, and it's not. And the people that don't know that, they're like, whoa, we're paying this much for this little cup? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, well, then take it off my order. That's fine if you're up front, but when you're in the drive-thru, I'm like, man, you had me make this during a rush and now you don't even want it. Get back. I've also had really bad experiences. Like, those are just annoying. But I've had some bad experiences where they'll literally like throw their tray in my face because they didn't want their bagel sliced that way. They wanted it bread sliced. Like, ma'am, please, let's calm down and realize that this is a bagel. My apologies, I will fix it, but it's never that serious. Trust me, it's never that serious. And sometimes they're just really rude. Like, what you being rude for? Now, this story is the reason why I quit the first time. Like, these chain of events, because why am I being this lady's order? I'm working in the bakery, so I'm getting their orders ready and it's looking all nice, and she goes, I wanted all of those hand sliced. Ugh. She wanted 1.5 dozen bagels hand sliced instead of through the machine. I'm like, okay, whatever, more work for me, but I'll do it because I don't want to hear a complaint and I don't want to deal with that. So I'm like, whatever. Then she goes an extra mile. Mind you, I had a whole like baker's dozen before her, so I'm doing theirs and hers at the same time, and she just sees me putting it through the machine and she goes, hey, I said I do not want it through the machine, I want it hand sliced. I said, I'm aware, but this order is not for you. She just stands there and stares at me and then starts crying, and I was like, oh my gosh. She goes, I'm so sorry, I'm having a bad day. And I was like, you can have a bad day, but there's no need to be rude to others. Like, I get it, but there's no need to be nasty to me because you're having a bad day. And she was just like crying, and I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, it's time to go, because what are you crying for? Then on top of that, while I was working there, I had to get my wisdom teeth taken out at the time. So, you know, you can't really talk because you gotta let it heal. And I remember my manager at the time calling me like, hey, you're supposed to work this day. And I was like, no, remember we talked about this and I swapped with such and such. I will not be there, and I'm getting my wisdom teeth taken out, so, you know, I won't be able to talk after this day, so on. She's like, okay. But then the next day proceeds to call me. Mind you, I'm under medicine and I'm like, because I have the gauze in my mouth. And she's like, hey, you're supposed to be on it and you're not here. I'm like, I just hung up and I texted her. I said, we went through this already. This is ×2. That incident annoyed me so much. I was like, yeah, never again. You'll never see me again, because why would you call me after my procedure when I just told you I just got out of my wisdom teeth? Like, what? Which made me think of another job, which was Mike's car wash. Yeah, that job was crazy within itself. I get in trouble like my first week of working there because I was giving out free car washes without realizing it. Let me explain. So the person on the headset was like, hey, we need a new number. And I'm like, I wrote the number on the car. And they're like, yeah, but it's not working. I'm like, that's not true. Like, they said this is how it's done. They're like, well, it's not working. So I just kept giving out new numbers the entire day. And it wasn't until like a few days later, that person got fired. And then they called me into the office and they're like, were you an accomplice with him in his plan to make us lose money? And I'm like, what are we talking about? They're like, yeah, he's planning on making us lose money on purpose, and you had to give him a code in order for all those cars to go through. And you essentially helped him give away like a couple $1,000s worth of free car washes. And I was like, I had no clue. Like, I am so sorry. I was like, if you look at the record, I am still in training. I wasn't aware. No one stopped me either that whole day. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I apologize, but that is and they're like, all right. And then, because it didn't stop there, they had investigators come in, because my boss just talked to me. But then they have these investigators come in. I'm talking about this big burly guy in a suit and a briefcase, and a lady like small, frail, right behind him, walking with her little laptop, typing everything. And they sat me in a room, just them, like closed the blinds. It was like a real life movie. And I was like, why am I in here? And when I asked that question, why am I in here? That small frail lady writing, why am I in here? And I was so scared. I was like, am I gonna go to jail or like end up in court for something I had no clue that I was helping with? Like, yeah, it was a scary day. They're like, are you sure you weren't an accomplice with this? And I'm like, I just met that guy. I've been working here for a total of like 5 days now. Not even a true week. 5 days. And they're like, okay, if that's what you say, because you helped with this and this. And I was like, I didn't do it. Not on purpose. Like, I had no intent in the demise of this company for that day. Like, break. I need to put this mascara on. Oh my goodness, mascara. But yeah, that is how I stopped working at Mike's Car Wash. Moral of the story is, it's time to upgrade and find a big girl job, because these other jobs is not gonna cut it. Money wise too, it's not gonna cut it. Ooh. And I'm currently in school for neuroscience and a minor in film and media studies. So I want to find a job that I can mix the two, and I know I want to go back to school eventually for occupational therapy, and I used to want to do PA, and that's why I went to UC, the school that I'm at now, for a reason, because they had a pre-PA program. But then OChem was really kicking my butt, and I was like, oh, this is not gonna work. And I think I retook it like twice and struggled. Like, I did not pass them. And I was like, we gotta try something else, because this, I cannot keep retaking this class. I did a little pivot, little like, all right, what the heck? What should I do next? I feel really lost. So I was like crying. I do everything right, and then like one class is like what's getting you, like you can't pass it. And I was like, you actually have to be kidding me. But I think I cried, I kid you not, every single day I had to take that OChem class because it was so challenging. And I was like, if I don't get this, I'm gonna keep pushing back my graduation time. So I was like, I need to think, talk to my counselors, talk to the academic advisors, and they were like, listen, it happens to the best of us. Don't beat yourself up about it. Just look into some other programs, shadow some other professional providers that have like a similar what's it called, academic curriculum for that degree, and see if that's the way you want to go. And I was like, okay. So I did that, and I shadowed some occupational therapists, and I loved it. I was like, why was I sleeping on them? Why didn't I know anything about them? Then I had to learn that they do not, well, it's not that they do not, they're starting to transition mostly into doctorate's program. And I'm like, which one do I want to do, master's or doctorate? And it's like, if I do doctorate, I don't technically get paid any more than a master's, but I'll be able to teach if I ever decided to want to teach in the future. So I'm like kind of in the air about that, because I'm like, do I want to be a teacher in the future? Will I still be content creation, so I don't really have to be a teacher? Or maybe I'll teach you guys. I have no clue. Then I'm gonna take a gap year and then go to OT school, and hopefully you guys are following along by that time and a part of my journey in that. But this is the end of the video. This is the final look. I got cute to go nowhere. I have nothing else to say. Ciao. Where's my blush? If you can order a grilled cheese, but don't toast it. So you just want a bread and cheese sandwich cold. What? Okay, and then one